They called me cold and hinted I had postpartum issues because I wouldn't let my 3-year-old niece blow out my 1-year-old daughter's birthday candle. A week later, the family group chat cracked open, and I learned I wasn't the only one tired of the princess show. My husband's family is our whole circle. Sunday dinners, holidays, everything. And my niece has been the center of every event since she was born. If there's cake, someone finds a candle and lets her have a turn. Last Christmas, they sang happy birthday to her over a pie. Looking back, it wasn't adorable. It was conditioning. So for my daughter's first birthday, I kept it small but special. Smash cake, high chair banner, my mom on FaceTime. I warned my husband, when it's cake time, don't let your niece swoop in. Just once, let this be our kids' moment. He said, got it. Cake time came, cameras up. My daughter sat on my lap, grabbing for frosting. My niece marched over like she owned the table, then dragged a chair closer with this scraping sound that made my teeth itch. I waited for my MIL or my SIL to stop her. Nobody did. They just smiled. Then it went slow motion. First, my niece leaned toward the candle, cheeks puffing. Then my husband stepped in and lifted her gently. Next, he carried her back to my SIL. Then he said, not this time. Birthday girl only. After that, my niece's scream sliced the room. Next, my MIL flinched like we'd committed a sin. Then everyone stared at me like I caused it. My SIL snapped. She just wants to be included. My MIL added, can we just sing? This is uncomfortable. I said, we will. She's just not blowing it out. We sang after my SIL took her outside. My daughter clapped and smeared frosting all over her face, smiling like she'd invented joy. That's when I realized how much I'd been bracing for someone else's kid to steal every first from mine. After the party, we got ghosted. 4 days later, my SIL texted, Mia is still upset. You could have let her blow it out after your daughter. Not everyone's used to their kids getting attention. Hope that helps. I kept wondering if she read that back to herself. My MIL called my husband next and demanded an apology because our boundary felt very cold. I couldn't tell if she truly believed that or if no, just isn't allowed in that house. Then I ran into my SIL at Target in the snack aisle. She hit me with, still doing damage control? When I asked what her problem was, she shrugged. It's weird how threatened you are by a toddler. I said, your daughter isn't the problem, you are, and walked away. My husband convinced me to show up to Sunday dinner to keep the peace. The vibe was fake sweet and sharp. My SIL wouldn't look at me. Then dessert came out, a random sheet cake, and my MIL announced, let's let Mia blow out the candles. She's been such a good girl. Every adult turned to watch my reaction. Mia started clapping like she'd won. So I smiled and said, cute. Next time we can sing happy birthday to my daughter on your birthday too. Silence. My SIL hissed, you're still bitter? I said, no, I'm just following your rules. What's mine is hers, right? That set the table on fire. My husband stood up, grabbed the diaper bag, and said, we're leaving. Later he said I escalated. I told him I was done being the quiet daughter-in-law who takes the hit so the golden child can shine. The next morning, a cousin texted me, people are saying you might be dealing with postpartum stuff. Maybe talk to someone. That was the moment I understood what this really was. Shame me, label me, and I'll fold. I finally told my mom. She went quiet, then said, I'm coming next Sunday. At dinner, she waited until everyone was mid-bite and said, so why did my daughter get ignored for a week over a candle? My MIL tried to laugh it off. My SIL scoffed. My mom took off her glasses and leaned in. My granddaughter is not a backup dancer in your niece's Broadway show, she said. Boundaries aren't cruelty. Dead silence. 2 days later, the dead group chat lit up again. A cousin joked about bringing kids to blow out candles, and I typed, it's wild how one toddler not getting a candle became a crisis. Then my husband's uncle, who never talks, wrote, y'all have been letting that kid run the family. She's right. My SIL left the chat. My MIL stopped texting. My husband just stared. So no, I'm not apologizing. My daughter gets her moments. We're hosting our own cookout now, just the relatives who can handle hearing no and one cake with one candle.